Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be happy. May all be free from diseases. May all see only goodness everywhere. And may no one be subject to suffering. May God establish peace everywhere. Everywhere. May there be no lack of peace. So good evening, friends. This evening I have to give the talk on this subject, which is Maya. That means two aspects of Maya. Maya is a Sanskrit word, very ancient word actually. And the most ancient living faith in the world is called Hinduism, but our ancestors who were Hindus, they would call themselves Aryas, the noble people. They didn't word Hinduism. This word was given by the British when the British ruled for India for 200 years, hundreds of years later. So, and this religion, which is called Hinduism, is called Veda by our ancestors. And Veda has 4 parts: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharva Veda. Veda means knowledge. This knowledge came from the pure-sighted sages of that culture. According to that, those scriptures, Maya means magic. Magic. And this religion called Hinduism or Vedanta, or the perennial religion by our ancestors, Sanatana Dharma, that has some very ancient scriptures. One of them is Rig Veda. It is as old as, it was created in 4000 BC, that's what the scholars say. And after Rig Veda came Atharva Veda, that was the last. And so both Maya is mentioned in Rig Veda and Atharva Veda. Let me refer to Rig Veda first. This is, in the Rig Veda there is a verse called Nasadiya Sukta. Nasadiya Sukta. It is the 129th hymn which is in the Rig Veda. And in that verse, it is mentioned, Yo Isadhyaksha Parame Vyomant Swanga Veda Yadivana Veda. The Creator may or may not know that this world has been created. That verse is there. And in that hymn, it has been described how the world was created. Gradually the world evolved. In the most ancient school of Hindu philosophy, that is called the Sankhya school, there the philosopher who originated it. His name was Kapila. Kapila has mentioned that at the beginning there was Purusha and Prakriti. That means the consciousness in the form of male and Prakriti in the form of female. The word Prakriti is a Sanskrit word. It has a gender. That gender is feminine gender. And Purusha also has a gender, it is masculine. So that's why Purusha is considered by many to be male and Prakriti to be female. But both of them are beyond gender. They are formless. And later on, one of the scriptures called Sheta Upanishad says, Mayang tu prakriting vidyat mainam tu maheshwaram. That means this mother nature should be considered as Maya. And who is the Maya is magic. So who is the magician? Magician is God, Maheshwaram. And it is very difficult to describe what Maya is. It is mentioned, the question has been asked in Hindu philosophy. What is Maya? And all questions are allowed to be asked in that religion. The word blasphemy is not there in it. And so, what is the definition of Maya? And the definition has been given. Sadasadbham anirvachaniyam. Something which one cannot say, about which one cannot say that it exists, and then again it cannot be said that it does not exist. It is indescribable. Maya is that way. It cannot be said it exists, it cannot be said it does not exist. It is, it cannot be described through words, so to say. So, there is a story. A man was sitting on the porch of his house in India, and then on the street in front of him, he saw a person committing murder. The person was killed, but immediately after that, the police came and arrested that murderer. And they had no other witness there except this person, John. So the police requested him to be the prime witness of that murder. And John could not say no. And then on the day of the trial, the murderer was present there. He had been arrested and by the police. And the judge, pointing to the murderer, asked John, "Did you see this man commit that murder?" But something had happened before that. At night, after that murder was committed, John got a phone call from some unknown person who said, "I am the murderer's friend. If you go and stand for witness against him, then you will be killed. Beware of that." And then John naturally became scared. And when John was asked by the judge, have you seen this man commit murder? Then John said, Sir, I can neither say no nor can I say yes. Then the judge said, how can it be so? The judge has studied logic and he knew that rule, the law of excluded middle, something which cannot be there between no and yes. So the judge said, it is not possible. You must be able to say whether you saw this person kill the other person or not. So John was in a fix. So John said to the judge, Your Honor, I can neither say yes nor can I say no. Then he said, it cannot be, it can never be so. It goes against the law of excluded middle, the judge said. You must be able to say yes or no. Then John said to the judge, Your Honor, I can prove that it is possible. Then if you allow me to ask a question. Then the judge said, all right, you ask. Then John asked the judge, Your Honor, do you still beat your wife? That was a question which could not be answered. Had the judge said that yes, he still used to beat his wife, then that is a crime. And had he said no, that means he used to beat his wife, but now he has stopped beating. But the judge could neither say yes nor could the judge say no. So the judge answered. Heard the answer of John and understood him and he released him. So also Maya is something which cannot be described. Does it really exist or does it not exist? Sadasadabham anidvachanyam. It cannot be described. So, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is mentioned that Indra Maya Vipururupa Iyate. God, with the help of Maya, became many. And in the 30Mar Upanishad, the same thought has been expressed. That's what God said. So akamayata bahusyam prajayeti. He thought, I will become many. God wished I shall be many, I will multiply. And after creating the world, God entered into it. That is also mentioned that tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. So, Indra created this world and then entered into it. So, this world from the standpoint of the creator does not really exist. It is a play. And play in Sanskrit is called Leela. And that Leela is Maya. What is real is eternal and changeless. Only God is real. God is eternal and changeless. Everything else which changes and which is not eternal is not real. And let us see what the Rigveda says about Maya. Rigveda says, that goes on describing how this world was created by God. And at the end, it is mentioned, Yang visrishti yata abhuvuva yadiva dadhe yadiva no swaisyak dhaksha paramebhyovan swangaveda yadiva no veda. That means perhaps the creator may not know that this world has been created. How strange. The creator has created the world and does not know that this world has been created. Yes. Consider an example. Consider a person who knows mass hypnotism, and he hypnotizes some people who are seated around him, and he tells them, look at this tiger sitting near my feet. And those who are hypnotized, they will be seeing that tiger. But will the hypnotist see the tiger? No. From the point of view of the hypnotist, there is no world. There is no tiger. So the hypnotist is creator God. So from the point of view of creator, there is no world. That is only a product from magic, God's magic. That's why this Rigvedic hymn ends with this sentence. Perhaps the creator may not know that this world has been created. Yes. It's a highly philosophical sentence that is there in the Rigvedic hymn. Then it is also mentioned that this Maya, which is magic, it has two parts, two aspects. One part is called Vidyamaya, the other part is called Avidyamaya. Suppose there is a person who is having a dream. So he is an individual who travels from one sleep to another sleep. When he is awake, that is another sleep. And when he is sleeping, then he is still another sleep. Two kinds of sleep. So when he is sleeping, he is dreaming. And whatever he sees in his dream, that seems to be real to him. Had it been possible for anyone to come to the dreamer and tell him, you see, your dream world is your creation, then the dreamer would say, are you kidding? How can this world be my creation? It has been there, that's why I am seeing it. So, but something happens. Suddenly a dream tiger appears there. That is part of the dreamer's dream. But the dream tiger is about to jump on the dreamer, and that scares the dreamer, and the dream world disappears. Dream world, he becomes awake, and along with the dream world, the dream tiger is also gone. But the dream tiger was responsible for the dissolution of the dream world. So also this world has two parts. This world is another dream world, and two parts. One part makes us fall asleep, the other part helps us to wake up. In our scriptures it is mentioned, Uttisthata Jagrata Praipya Varan Nibodhata. It is meant for everybody. He said, you make effort to wake up. You are one is somnambulist. You are sleepwalking, but you don't know that you are sleepwalking. So become awake. And by going, after becoming awake, go to the superior ones and become spiritually enlightened. That means get to know that you don't belong to either your dream world or your waking world. You are different from both. In other words, you are divinity. Praipya Varan Nibodhata. So who are the superior ones? Well, the dream tigers. There are some dream tigers in this world in which we are awake. We think we are awake. And those dream tigers are those spiritually living souls. They can help us to get out of this dream world. But the problem is our ego. The owner and the object owned cannot be the same. So I am the owner of my physical body, that's why I must be different from it as the owner. The same with my sense organs and motor organs, I must be different from them. And what about my mind? Yes, my mind also is owned by me, and so I have to be different from my mind. But my existence, individual existence, depends on a thought of my conscious mind. It is a part of my mind, and that is I or ego. As long as the ego is there, I do not know who I really am. What I really am is divinity beyond the mind, body and all these things. Because it is divinity which exists everywhere. Sarvam Khalidam Brahma. Everything is divinity. I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Tattamasi, you are also Brahman. But you have to know it. Once you know it, you have become free from the bondage of ignorance of your nature. There is a story in Hinduism, the story of King Janaka, who was a knower of Brahman or God. And a person wanted to know God. So he came to Janaka and wanted the teaching from Janaka. And Janaka said to that person, you pay my fee, then I will give you the teaching. But it is not customary in India, it was not, to pay the fee first. After getting the education, one would think of paying some fee out of gratitude to the teacher. So that man said to Janaka, why should I pay you the fee now? You have not yet given me the teaching. Then Janaka said, well, once you get the teaching, after that, where will the world be? Where will Janaka be, your teacher be? What will you be? Nothing will be there. So the question of paying the fee does not arise. And our scriptures also say this. One of the scriptures called Shetashatara Upanishad. And in the chapter 1 and verse 10, that says, Tasya vidhana yojanat tattva bhavat bhuyaschante Vidyamaya nivritti. That is in Sanskrit, Vedic Sanskrit. It is when the individual soul, through meditation, gets to know its identity with divinity of Brahman, then this world of Maya ceases to exist for that soul. So there is a way out of this Maya. That is, through meditation, learn from the superior teachers, saintly teachers, one can get rid of this Maya. And that Maya is called the Vidyamaya, or Maya of knowledge. Like the dream tiger, Maya of knowledge. The other Maya which keeps us bound to this world, to world of limitations, that is called Avidyamaya, Maya of ignorance. These are two aspects of Maya, Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya, Maya of knowledge and Maya of ignorance. Maya of ignorance makes us think that we are not divine, but Maya of knowledge will make us think that we are divinity itself. We have to take the help of Vidyamaya and not Avidyamaya. This Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya, these are two aspects of Maya. So Vidyamaya is like the dream tiger. It can help a person to wake up from his or her dream. So this is the subject of my talk this evening. Two aspects of Maya. These are the two aspects, Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya. Magic which makes us forget that we are divinity. That is Avidyamaya. And that magic which reminds us what we are, that is called Vidyamaya. Maya of knowledge and Maya of ignorance. So when the individual soul through meditation gets to know its identity with that divinity, which is this world of Maya ceases to exist for that soul. This is there in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. We have to remember it. So you have to take the help of Vidyamaya to get rid of Avidyamaya. So let us pray to God so that God grants us the ability to do that. Thank you all for your patience.